Captain Sandy Yawn made major waves when she climbed aboard the Below Deck spin-off series Below Deck Mediterranean. Best known as Captain Sandy, she has often been compared to Below Deck's legendary Captain Lee. But it turns out this woman's style is all her own. This is Captain Sandy's Untold Truth. It might be difficult to figure out exactly how to refer to Captain Sandy Yawn. Is it Captain Yawn, just Captain, or maybe just Sandy? The folks over at Decider were similarly curious, so they asked the Below Deck Mediterranean fan favorite how she prefers to be addressed. She says, "Anyone can call me Sandy. What happens in the yachting industry is people think we're all friends because we live together, and then they start losing that, oh my gosh, she's actually in charge of me."
You call me Captain.
Okay.
Captain Sandy.
Captain
We're not
Sandy?
friends.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes, Captain Sandy.
Captain Sandy ensures her team knows who's the boss right off the bat, even though she considers herself to be a kind person by nature. She added, "I always want people to feel I'm approachable. Having said that, I also need them to remember that I am in charge. And if you don't set that precedent in the beginning, then they get confused because I play a lot."
I have a reputation in the industry as a very successful, professional charter captain. You'll find that I'm not an unless you don't follow the rules.
Considering how beloved she is among staff, both past and present, whatever Captain Sandy is doing is clearly working. Anybody who's had even a fleeting glimpse of Captain Sandy in action knows she's a total boss babe, but her strength goes beyond successfully leading a crew on the high seas. As she revealed in an interview with Women's Health, a near-death experience actually ended up saving her life. Yawn recounted how, in 2015, when she was 49, she crashed her motorcycle into a car, which left her with fractured bones in most of her limbs.
As I'm flipping in the air, I felt really peaceful. I thought, I'm going to die, I'm going to go see my mother in heaven.
After having full reconstructive surgery, a chance meeting with a doctor friend of a friend led to a cancerous tumor being discovered on Sandy's kidney. She had surgery less than a month later to remove it. She told the outlet, "Who would have ever thought they would be grateful for being in a motorcycle crash? But I was." As the doctor explained, it might have been years until that tumor was found. At that point, the cancer would have progressed, and it would have been too late. The cast of Below Deck and Below Deck Mediterranean might not be as rowdy as, say, those of other reality shows, but spending so much time in isolation together can bring out a certain element in people, particularly young, hot crew members looking to quash their boredom between shifts. Thankfully, Yawn couldn't care less what her charges get up to on board, just as long as they keep things kosher when they're on the clock. She told People magazine, "How I handle it is, I don't care who you sleep with or if you all sleep together, but the minute you come up on deck, you better be professional. I don't want to see that behavior on deck and do your job." And they do. Most of the time they do their jobs.
Whatever happens in this cabin should stay in this cabin. No spooning on deck.
Although Yawn has had to intervene a few times, she makes it clear that she's not anyone's mother, she's their boss. And as their leader, the star understands that her crew needs to blow off some steam sometimes. She said, "You can't demand what we demand from these crews and not let them have these outlets." After years of working in a male-dominated industry, wondering whether she'd ever find someone who could gel with her insanely busy life, Yawn found love in the unlikeliest of places, on Facebook, where gospel singer Leah Schaefer sent her a sweet message about Below Deck Mediterranean. It stood out among a multitude of DMs because of the quote, "many blessings" at the end, which struck a chord with the faith-focused captain. After researching Schaefer, Yawn realized she'd be ideal for her I Believe speaking tour. When the two finally met in person, they clicked immediately.
When you meet someone and you know, that's exactly how it happened, and I love her.
Yawn told 2Fab, "It was meant to be because I wasn't really looking for it. I wrote a list of the person I wanted, and she's the list." The captain had previously told Bravo's Daily Dish, "I want someone who wakes up happy, just as happy to be alive. Like, that's how I wake up every day of my life." For Yawn, it looks like Schaefer certainly fits the bill. Considering she beat cancer and came back from a devastating injury to be one of an elite group of women helming a yacht, it's no wonder Yawn is taken as something of a trailblazer in the industry. More than that, though, she's a major badass. Quite literally, as noted in an interview with Boats.com, the Below Deck Mediterranean star is known casually as the quote, "badass captain." And it's something she leans into 100%. Her daily mantra just happens to be, wake up, show up, kick ass, repeat.
How was it?
You want to really know the truth?
The only way we improve is if the client tells us the truth.
With Captain Sandy working consistently in a male-dominated industry, running some yachts well above 100 feet, fronting a reality TV show about the industry itself, and frequently battling daunting professional and personal circumstances, the nickname is totally fitting. At its core, the title showcases her focus on inspiring everyone to follow her lead and push themselves to be the best they can be. Watching her work, it's impossible to envision any other place that Captain Sandy could possibly be more at home. And yet, being a yacht captain wasn't her end goal. In fact, it wasn't even a goal, period. As she reminisced with Boats.com, she says it's something she kind of fell into, admitting, "It's not like I said, I have to be a yacht captain." Growing up in Florida, she was always on the water, even cleaning boats as an early job. The captain of the yacht on which she landed her very first crew position wasn't the best example of a leader, which helped her realize she could do the job better. After being hired by the owner of a 67-footer, who paid for Yawn to earn her captain's license, she stayed and worked with him for almost 10 years.
I've had meltdowns, I've had fires, I've had pirates chase me. Any scenario you can think of has happened in my 27 years.
Below Deck came calling in 2015, looking for her to be a part of their new Mediterranean spinoff. She remembered, "I thought, why not? This show reaches the middle of America and people who know nothing about charter." One of the show's most shocking moments saw Chef Mila, the first female to helm the galley on the hit Bravo franchise, making prejudiced comments to other members of Captain Sandy's crew. Mila's issues surrounded her young son seeing, quote, two men kissing each other, which was a behavior she felt was inappropriate.
I don't want my son to be growing up and seeing two men kissing each other because this is not normal.
When questioned about the incident by 2Fab, Yawn said she heard it through the grapevine rather than being told directly.
Her opinion of me doesn't matter because
Right.
I would have to care about that person for me to care.
As for how she feels about Mila's outwardly biased stance, the no-nonsense leader explained of Mila's Russian upbringing. People grow up in different countries and are programmed a certain way to think. That's her opinion. That doesn't reflect me. She can have her opinion. I don't really care. Doesn't reflect on me. It reflects on her. Aside from a devastating motorcycle accident, which in turn led to a cancer scare, Yawn also nearly lost her life to addiction. Although it's difficult to imagine the inspirational female captain as being anything other than level-headed and in control, she explained to the cheat sheet that, particularly as a teenager, she was a, quote, mess. Yawn elaborated on her struggle, admitting, no matter how much money you have, it's not going to save your life if you are an addict or an alcoholic. And I was a major addict and alcoholic.
Sometimes I wish I could just have a glass of wine, but it's like I can't stop with one. I would have the whole bottle. And then another one, and another one.
In fact, she said she was frequently in and out of jail for drunk driving. These days, Yawn minds those past difficult experiences to teach others how to stay on the right path. She said, "The only way I can help is to share my story." Adding that school was a nightmare for her and that self-medicating may even have been a response to her burgeoning same-gender attraction, Yawn revealed that her mother was an alcoholic, making her childhood home life difficult too. Thankfully, by 25, she had turned her life around. Watching her confidently steer the ship on Below Deck Mediterranean, it seems there's nothing Yawn can't do. And yet something as relatively simple as going vegan beat the tough-as-nails ship boss. As she explained to The Feast, driving a vessel for the Sea Shepherd Conservation Society made her more conscious of how and what she eats, in particular fish. It turns out Yawn has toyed with the idea of going vegan, but unfortunately, it didn't exactly work out for her. She said, "Honestly, I tried, but I didn't feel well, to be honest. I didn't have the energy. Some bodies just aren't cut out to go vegan. I tried." These days, it's actually her partner Leah Schaefer who decides what's for dinner, mainly because Yawn is so laid back about it, she told the outlet. "I'm not that person who has to decide. As a captain, we constantly make decisions. When I'm with someone else, I don't want to make a decision. I don't want to choose." Most people watching Real Housewives couldn't imagine tussling with any of the ladies in the ever-expanding franchise, but Yawn would welcome some of the mouthiest broads on board. In fact, she'd relish having them as guests. When Decider asked which show in particular she'd like to see stars from, Captain Sandy chose New York City. Yawn explained to the outlet, "New Yorkers have an edge. I love to be challenged by clients. When clients are yesing you to death, I know that it's not perfect because that's impossible. I need the client to tell me the truth. They'll tell the truth."
I don't like to complain.
The fact that you're not saying anything is making it worse.
As for who her real-life Bravo favorites are, Captain Sandy says, "I have to admit that I didn't watch The Real Housewives of Potomac, but after meeting Giselle Bryant, her vibe. I love Nene, Dorinda, I love them all. But after spending some time with Giselle, we didn't even really talk a lot, but she was so gracious. She's cool. She's cool on the show, she's real, so I have to say she's probably won me over." The so-called stud of the sea Captain Lee Rosbach is a below-deck mainstay, but if there was anyone who was going to not just follow in his footsteps, but blow him out of the water, it would be Captain Sandy. Even so, she's not terribly impressed with the comparisons, she told Decider. "When people compare me to Captain Lee on Twitter, that makes me realize they have no idea who I am or who he is. It's just what they watch. We have two very different career paths. I was a busy charter captain in the Mediterranean. That wasn't Captain Lee." Even so, Yawn tips her hat to the original below-deck boss. She was also quick to note, "I have respect for him. We get along. He's great. He refers to me as kiddo. He's a great guy. As a woman in this industry, I worked hard to get to where I am. When you're a guy, it's an easier climb, right? As she tells it, everything has to be 100% by the book on Yawn's yacht, because mistakes aren't as forgivable for a female captain. As much as simply being a woman created more of a challenge for Yawn as she worked her way up, she doesn't see her gender as a limiting trait in any capacity. In fact, it's provided her the fire to really go for and crush her goals. She told Bravo, "Being a female captain in this industry is challenging and inspiring because I thrive on problem solving. Being a woman in the male-dominated yachting world is an advantage due to my ability to multitask while managing the emotions of the crew. I choose not to come from a place of power and control, and it really, really works."
As a human being, I have all the compassion in the world, but as a captain, I have to let you go.
Explaining that she uses her warm personality to complement her management style, she added, "I prefer to be hands-on, firm, and compassionate. That's how I navigate my leadership." It turns out Yawn sees her role as inspirational too, telling the little white lie that her aspirations are larger than simply serving clients the charter cruise of their lives. She says, "I want to inspire other young ladies to jump in and say yes to taking a risk. It's so worth it. If you fall short, don't give up. Just pick yourself up, brush yourself off, and go for it again." Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more list videos about your favorite reality TV celebs are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.